everyone, and welcome to today's Drama Hospital Recap. Yesterday's Drama Hospital Recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. And as you know, technically today is Friday, but there was no new episode today. So this is yesterday's, because yeah, yesterday was literally probably the busiest day I've ever had. I'll tell you more about it later if you want, but let's get right to it. So at Crimson, Maxie is still planning Sam's surprise, and I have this seed of dread just right here a little bit. And Nina got Charlotte clothes, and they can get pictures together, this, that, and the other thing. And, Claudette's out of the picture, and Charlotte needs a mother. LOL. And she wants to all go to Christmas Mass together, and oh, that'll be so exciting. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what, if you weren't such a jerk to everyone in your life who's just been looking out for your well-being, I'd almost feel a little bad for what's about to happen. So Maxie tells her, and then the news about Lulu being Charlotte's mother, and that Valentine confirmed it. And, she abridges the story, but tells it all. And so, basically, the part that looks like it bothers Nina is that Valentine knew and didn't tell her. And she's literally deflated, and I'm like, nah, don't feel bad. So then she makes a quick exit. So Felicia comes over, and she's helping plan the wedding. And Maxie's super distracted, and she's, thinking about all the time Lulu missed out on with Charlotte. And a part of me couldn't help but think she's partially even thinking of herself with that, because of how they were separated in the beginning, and still even though she's in her life, she's not there every day, So she feels overall she was lucky with Georgie, though, because she knows Georgie's loved and well cared for, and she never has to worry about where she is. And Felicia tries to get her to focus on the future, because her and Lulu have had their share of ups and downs, and now the future looks bright for both of them. At General Hospital, Dante says he will love Charlotte. She's a part of Lulu, and he thinks Valentine is going to have other ideas about this whole thing. And Lulu does wonder if he really is a victim in all this too, or if he's just, trying to cover up. Laura comes in and asks why they're there. They tactfully avoid. And Dante had to leave. He got called into work, and Laura asks what's really going on. So Lulu evades again, and then decides she's going to ease her into the information, because, it's a lot to take in. So she acknowledges how complicated all of this is, and Laura says it doesn't matter who Charlotte's father is, because she's Charlotte's mother. And Laura says that she'll get Scott to bring her a list of custody lawyers so that they can get her from Valentine, and also tells her not to do anything impulsive, kind of tone down the Spencer side. At Ava's, Ava gets all high and mighty. Julian threatens Ava's, don't say anything. And Jordan's at the door, and she has questions about the hit and run. So she's surprised to see Alexis there, obviously. And Ava literally can't stop. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Just running her mouth to make all this as awkward as humanly possible. So Jordan says they have no new leads, and Alexis goes to make her leave, but Jordan stops her. So she asks if she'd like to remove these restraining orders, since she's kind of, violating it herself right now. And Alexis won't, but I just said that. She says she didn't know Julian would be there when she got there, because it is Ava's place. She says she came in to pick up a photo album, not necessarily for her and Julian, but there's pictures of her daughters and her grandson in it. So yeah, that's why she was there. And he says he'll make sure she gets the photo album. So Jordan tells Ava enough, because Ava again still just keep poking at the situation is the best way to put it. And it's same, to be honest, just enough. And Morgan, I can't talk. Jordan's there to talk about the night Morgan died. So she asks about Bevmore, the company, and Julian says he knows Derek Well Media has subsidiaries. And I thought the next word out of his mouth was going to be so I don't know all of them. I'm not really involved. But instead he says, oh, I don't think that's one of them. So getting rid of his plausible deniability. And she shows him the picture of the van strategically parked so that it blocked the whole, bomb implementation. So the van is actually owned by Derek Will's media, and Bevmore's just a cover. And he asks why it would be parked there, and she's like, you tell me. So Julian throws it back at Sunny. Ava chimes in, and Jordan says it wouldn't make any sense for Sunny to frame you. Like, how that would be, like, how much sense would that make? That would make literally no sense. And Julian says the truth will probably never come to light, which is definitely what people who want to find out who tried to blow them up say. So then Jordan leaves. I don't blame her. So the pawn shop on Van Ness. So Curtis and Jason are questioning the guy, and they're being watched through the surveillance camera. The guy continues to say he doesn't know anything, and they have a good back and forth style to get the information they want. So he says he doesn't memorize every item, and, you know, he doesn't keep good records either because it's a cash business. And I'm like, Judge Million would tear you apart. Like, you got to keep records. It doesn't matter, especially if it's a cash business, because people can just say, well, you know this. This isn't a people's court recap. Anyway, I can't find where I was. Oh, so Curtis picks up this, like, boat replica, really gorgeous, and the guy does like a quick panic. He's like, oh no, like, you know, afraid he's gonna break it or something, and it says it's not for sale, it's on hold for another customer. And Jason leaves his name and number, so in case the guy remembers something, he can call him. At the Metro Court, Dante comes to something will work, but he stops to see Olivia on the way, and he tells her the news. So she knows how hard this must be for Dante. And I think this was really smart on his part to go to her. Well, I mean, someone else in general, but especially her, and kind of voicing or venting or just getting this out of his system or working his way through these feelings and not really involving Lulu in this part of it, because, like, because she's allowed to be happy, and, this kind of doubt from him now, it could, like, color how she sees, like, so I think this was important. This was smart of him to, keep it his own problem, work through it, and then, come back to her later. I'm trying to be nice, and it didn't sound nice. I don't understand. What's happened to me? I can't talk. Olivia's also happy for Lulu and Charlotte. So Dante thinks Lulu isn't seeing the whole picture, and, like, they're gonna have to bring Valentine into their lives, and is he ready for that? Like, I think it's more doubting if he's ready for this and not, like, being mad that the situation's going on, So Jason, other part of the Metro Court, Jason and Curtis arrive. Curtis questions Jason's tactics, of leaving his information. And Jason says if the guy really does work for Julian, he'll tell him they were there, and Julian may just take the bait. At Windermere, I know, right? It never stops. At Windermere, we're in a bunch of different places. Nina comes over and asks Valentine why he was lying to her. Why didn't he tell her? Why didn't he tell Lulu? Why not tell anyone? So, everyone keeps telling her how horrible he is, and, she didn't believe it. But, Charlotte asked Santa for her mother, and her mother was standing 5 feet away from her. So how could he keep Charlotte from her mother? So he says he did what he thought was best for Charlotte. Oh my God, that's like what everyone says about this poor kid. And she feels that he was working her, like he knew she wanted a child, but, she believes him when he says that, Nina knew what it was like to grow up like she did and thought, and he didn't want her to have to keep his secret, and he's such a stand-up guy, right? Oh, Valentine. Back at the pawn shop, like behind the scenes, the guy shows the surveillance watching guy, Oscar Jessup, the information, and also says that he probably recognizes the people on the screen. And now end scene. So Curtis and Jason, they see the pieces, but they're not sure how to put them together. Like, the boat Curtis picked up was apparently a Chinese boat. Pete was paid through a Chinese account. The bags were from a Chinese restaurant. Like, but what does that mean, Alexis asks about Julian's reaction when Sunny was brought up, and he's like, oh, my meds are wearing off, so it was probably just that. And she's like, yeah, okay. And then he mentions ordering takeout, and I'm thinking, she's totally going to come back with a Chinese food menu. I can just feel it in my bones. So then he calls the surveillance watching Oscar Jessup guy, and then hangs up when Alexis walks back in the room, and she comes back with a Chinese restaurant menu. What are the chances? Olivia tells Dante Charlotte didn't have didn't ask to have Valentine as a father, and all they need to do is minimize the damage Valentine can do and embrace her. And it's what she's doing with Leo. Not that Julian's really had a chance to ask for time, with him, but when he eventually does come around, she knows what she's gonna do. Lulu shows up at Windermere and is intent on taking Charlotte home. So that wasn't impulsive. Hopefully she's thinking this through. I have faith she is. Okay, so recap officially over, but a few quick things. So if you're looking to donate to a charity that is a small charity, we would really appreciate it if you checked out the YouCaring link and helped out with our animal rescue. We're coming up on our deadline to save our animal sanctuary. And in General Hospital news, I touched on this a little bit in previous videos, but since it's getting to the end of the year, I want to touch on it more. So I had this idea to do just a fun little pool, just for fun though, there's no prize or anything, of when certain tropes or storylines are going to come out, like a new pregnancy announcement, or someone's going to find out someone else was lying to them, or a wedding. And I have a few dates, but I have my official little calendar that I will put all these things in with your name or your screen name on here and what you think is going to happen when. So I'll get that filled out. So if you want to leave in the comments dates that you think certain things will happen, you can tell me. But some of the things, a wedding, baby announcement, I just said those things, a betrayal, stuff like that, maybe a new character, a reveal. We have a lot of stuff working right now, so this might be a good time to get some stuff in, but that's something I want to continue all throughout next year. I think it'll be a fun little recurring thing to do here. So keep that in mind, and I will see you next week for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye! Walking Dead. Woo-hoo.